Coming up on this edition of iState News, students speak out about free speech zones on campus. And find out what students thought about last week's career fair. With Nikki Kearns and Jesse Kaler, Claire Powell with weather, and Matt Van Winkle with sports. iState News starts now.
Welcome to the Valentine's Day edition of iState News. I'm Nikki Kearns.
And I'm Jessie Kaler. Did you miss last week's career fair? ISU TV reporters Matt Van Winkle and Julie Farrell were at Hilton to get students' reactions. For more information about jobs, internships, or improving your resume, visit your college's Career Service Center. You may have seen people speaking or handing out flyers in front of the library. Did you know they're practicing free speech in free speech zones? Jonathan Harris and Justin Houston find out more. 2 people were killed and 4 were injured in a car accident last night. The accident occurred in northern Iowa a little before 6 p.m. A pickup and a car collided on a bridge, causing the injuries and fatalities. Although the road was icy, the Iowa State Patrol is unsure if that played a role in the accident. A red car hit a Southeast Polk School District bus and then left the scene today in Des Moines. After the initial accident, the bus was hit from behind a pickup truck. 4 students and 1 adult were injured and transferred to local hospitals. All injuries appeared to be non-life-threatening. The House Economic Growth Committee has approved a $38 million expansion of the Field of Dreams site near Dyersville, Iowa. The plan includes the building of 24 baseball diamonds and indoor training facility while preserving the field featured in the movie starring Kevin Costner. The construction would provide almost 1,000 jobs to the area and would be a large tourist attraction.
Stick around to learn about the latest updates on Whitney Houston and more.
You're watching iState News. A Texas mother gave birth 2 weeks early in order for her dying husband to meet their daughter. Diane Alger decided to induce labor early because her husband had been given days to live after being admitted to the hospital. Mark had been diagnosed with cancer in December and had chemotherapy treatments, but unfortunately his lungs started to collapse. Mark was the first to hold Savannah, his daughter, 45 minutes after she was born. Shortly after, Mark slipped into a coma and passed away holding Savannah in his arms. The Pakistani Supreme Court indicted its prime minister on Monday. Yusuf Raza Gilani was charged with contempt after he refused to reopen corruption cases against Pakistan's president. Gilani is the first Pakistani prime minister to be charged while in office. He could be jailed for 6 months if found guilty. These charges have deepened the already serious political issues in Pakistan. The Vice President of China will spend time on a small farm in Maxwell, Iowa this week. Chinese Vice President Xi Jinping will visit the Kimberly family farm Thursday morning to discuss agriculture and Iowa-based companies like Pioneer and John Deere. Kimberly is excited to showcase what Iowa has to offer, saying, quote, "We want him to know we can be a reliable source of soybeans and someone that can produce a good product and someone they can rely on," end quote. An Arizona bill will try to ban teachers from swearing in front of students. The bill requires teachers to keep their language to FCC-approved words. The bill was made because of complaints of teachers using inappropriate language in front of their students. If approved, swearing could get teachers suspended or even fired. There is a lot of discussion whether the bill is constitutional or not, and if swearing is protected under the First Amendment. The Senate Education Committee has not yet scheduled a hearing for the bill. Tens of thousands of protesters clashed with police officers in Athens, Greece early Monday morning. The riot broke out after the Greek parliament passed a measure to help control the country's mounting debt. A crowd of about 80,000 people threw rocks and firebombs at police while damaging 45 buildings. According to police, 74 protesters were arrested and 106 police officers were injured in the riot. A magnitude 5.6 earthquake struck northeast California yesterday. The tremble was felt within 100-mile radius. The quake hit about 18 miles inland in a rural area of California. Experts say the far northern coast of California is the most active for earthquakes. The damage in that region was minor. No one was reported injured from the quake.
After the break, we'll take a look at weather. Claire, what do we have up?
It looks like we have a little rain-snow mix on our way, so I hope you haven't put away those snow boots yet, and a little warm-up in our weekend. Stay tuned. You're watching iState News.
A woman who grew up in western Iowa has been named Marine Corps Spouse of the Year. Stephanie Girati now lives in North Carolina and started a local running club while her husband is in Afghanistan. Stroller Warriors aims to connect military mothers and keep them busy while their husbands are deployed. Girati is also a semifinalist for Military Spouse of the Year.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of iState News.
We leave you with shots of the Valentine's Day bake sale going on right now in the Design Building.
Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next Thursday.